What's going on, everyone? I'm coming at you here today to do a short little video discussing the pricings of the new products for the Digimon TCG English release. We've gotten a little bit of information over the last week or so regarding prices for all of the different products that were announced so far. So since I haven't made any videos about that yet, I figured I would go ahead and do that now, and we could talk about the prices of everything and what those prices really mean for the game. So the first price that we were presented with was just the MSRP for the booster packs themselves. The booster packs are going to be $3.99 USD, so US dollars. I don't know if that's going to be any different for other countries for the English release, so let's say New Zealand, Australia, Canada, UK. I'm not too sure about the prices for those yet. I think a lot of them are sticking with that $3.99 baseline price, but there might be some variation depending on where you are. But the next prices that were announced were for the starter decks. So as we went over in a previous video, there are 3 starter decks currently announced. They are based on the first 3 starter decks that appeared in Japan: Gaia Red, Cocytus Blue, and Heavens Yellow. These starter decks are going to be $9.99 USD here in America. Now, this is a little bit different from what's going on in Japan. So these decks are about $5 in Japan, the equivalent of. So you might think, oh, well, we're getting really screwed up in prices over here. Everything's getting way more expensive. That's not necessarily true. One thing that's different between Japan and us is that in addition to the starter deck themselves, which is the 54 cards in the deck, the English version also contains an additional booster pack for the game. So that's an additional, basically, $3.99 in addition to like the $5 deck. So technically you can make the argument that, oh, it should be $9, but it's $10 for us. And there are a few things to consider with that. One, localization to another country is always going to end up being more expensive, at least in most cases. So it's not too uncommon for a game to be more expensive here than it is in, let's say, Japan, where it's originally based out of. 2, we want to compare it to some of the other card games going on in America right now, so like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Both of these have starter decks that are a bit more expensive than this, actually. Pokemon starter decks usually go for around $12 to $13 MSRP, if I remember right, and then Yu-Gi-Oh! Is around the same price. And with those games, you're not getting an extra booster pack in most cases, so this is already getting you a much better deal than what we're already used to. So yeah, I would say we're not missing out too much on that pricing. I think it's still good. And one other reason that I think the $9.99 is worth it for these decks is that, at least so far, every deck or every card in these starter decks are unique to the starter decks. So you cannot get these cards in the booster packs or in promo packs anytime soon, and these decks have some really good cards in there. Like, definitely some staples for any red, blue, or yellow deck are in here. I mean, the red deck will contain Gaia Force or Terra Force, which is honestly red's like best card. So I would buy 2 starter decks just to get a playset of those. That also being said, with these starter decks, you will need to buy 2 to get a playset of every card in the deck. Every card in these decks, if they are following Japan's pattern, will have at least 2 of each card, and in some cases 4 of each card. So at the most, you're going to need to buy 2 of each deck in order to get a playset of everything, which honestly is pretty worth it. I mean, with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Starter decks or the structure decks, usually you're going to have to buy 3 of those to get a playset of everything. So again, I think we're getting a pretty good deal here, and if you buy 2 of those starter decks, you're going to get 2 packs as well, so you have a chance of getting something even better than that. And now, in addition to the prices we got from there, we've also seen the price of the first booster box, Display version 1.0, come out, which would be $75. Now again, each pack is going to be about $3.99 MSRP, so the boxes are considerably cheaper than just buying the packs by themselves. As far as we know, there are 24 packs per box, so that means if you're paying $4 for each pack separately, you're going to be paying about $96 normally. So $75 MSRP, not a bad price at all. Now, this will vary depending on like your local game store and at certain locations. Shops don't necessarily have to sell at the MSRP in some cases. They can go a little bit higher or a little bit lower depending on their agreement with the supplier. So in some cases, you may actually see a box go for like $80 or $85. It probably won't be any higher than that unless something weird happens, but yeah, as far as everything goes here, the booster boxes will be a pretty decent price at $75, I would say. Again, it kind of varies depending on what card games you're used to. Pokemon tends to have even more expensive booster boxes. Yu-Gi-Oh is a little bit cheaper. I'm not sure what Magic goes for because I don't really play Magic that much, but you kind of get the idea. It can kind of vary, but you're still getting a better deal by buying a booster box as opposed to buying 24 just loose packs. One thing to also mention is that the booster boxes themselves come with 2 box toppers, which are extra kind of cards. So one's going to be a Tamer card, one's going to be a little promo pack with 2 extra cards in there. So that's already increasing the value of the box itself. I won't get into too much detail in this video about the box toppers themselves, but I will be making a separate video that goes over them and you'll be able to hear my thoughts on that as well. But yeah, all in all, I think the prices for this game so far are pretty reasonable. We don't have any word on any other products currently coming out just yet as far as pricing goes. I'm definitely liking the price of $9.99 for the starter decks, and I really like the fact that they're including an extra booster pack with them. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think the prices for this game seem fair so far? Are they more expensive than you would have hoped? Were you expecting it to be even more expensive? Let me know. I'll be making some more Digimon TCG videos in the near future, so if you're interested, stick around for that. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.